I know. We usually have about 15,000 head of cattle roaming these lands at this point. So this courtyard was a tad different in that there was no trees, there was no bushes, flowers, grass, but it was all dirt. A lot of dirt, flies, fleas, chickens, horses, cows, pretty much anything you can imagine would be in this courtyard. So it was pretty much quite the opposite of what you see today. So now we go up to the work week as well. When we actually first opened the rancho, this was Mexico, and the nearest school was in Mexico DF, or the Mexico Federal, which is the capital city of Mexico. So the majority of us did not have an education at that point. And in the 1840s, California was actually known as cattle land. There was actually more cattle than people in California at that point. And the business that we were in was the hide and tallow business. So we have a cow hide on that chair. That was one of the examples that we used to use the hides for. And tallow is just rendered fat, or rendered cow fat to be specific. And we used to make a couple things out of that. If you want to take a guess at what that could be? Soap. Yes, exactly. If you want to take a feel and come and touch this bed, I hear that it's a little bit different today. Yeah, exactly. It's up with hay, and we have the ropes, of course.
That's where the expression sleep tight came from.
Mm-hmm.
Make them nice and tight so the bed is firm. Sleep tight.
We have the storage room. Because when we actually first built the rancho, we were in the middle of nowhere. The nearest pueblo was Pueblo Los Angeles, and that was around 14 miles away. And that would actually take you about 4 hours on an ox cart to get there. So it was not good on the back either. So we were pretty much self-sufficient at that point. So of course we always had to have a little bit of extra of everything, just in case we did break something, so we can give us some time to fix it and mend it, and we can reuse it. And anything that we did use, we reused and reused and reused until no longer we were in the middle of nowhere. Passersby and travelers going up and down California were actually more than welcome to spend as many nights as they needed, or ask for any food or any horses or anything that they may need. Because there was no hotels in the area, so we were in a 40-mile radius of just emptiness. So we pretty much welcomed anyone that came by. So I always had to cook a little bit extra, just in case we did have a couple dropper-bys at that point. And it was actually a rule that you could never ask them when they would leave. So Don Temple would say that he was the father of California, and I just married my husband, and he was a vaquero, and we heard about this rancho, and we came up, and Don Temple was very nice enough to give us a job.
And did you work 7 days a week?
Yes, 7 days a week. There was no vacations, as you call them today, at that point.
So, and what were you paid?
$25 a month at that point.
Okay.
This is the one instrument that we would carry. And you would do a couple of hundred sheep with just these here in California, arriving in 1866 and buying this rancho. So it became a cattle ranch.
It keeps track of how many they shared.
They did that. Oh, we should ask her that.
And now we enter the food storage room. So pretty much anything that I could not make here at the rancho, of course I had to go to Pueblo Los Angeles and buy in bulk. And classic examples were some flour, of course. And we actually had very, very few imports in my time. And they were coffee, chocolate, and tea from China at that point. But sugar was actually too expensive to import, so we had no sugar. So the coffee and the chocolate were a tad more bitter than what you're used to today. It has to do with the hides, leather.
Oh, it's for scraping the fur off of the hide.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's called a hog scraper. Formerly named it there. And they were actually dull, just like we see today. So it was mainly your own human strength that would take the fur off. Because you used to hang up the hides, just like that, and scrape the fur off.
Was that your job, or
No,
that was
the vaquero's job.
vaquero?
Or the cowboys. That was.
Sí, señorita.
And saying that I was talking about tallow candles at that point. Pretty much anything that, any source of lighting that you needed, of course you had to make on your own. So this is a candle mold, classic example of what it would look like. So you used to go, pour the rendered cow fat in there, put a wick in it, wait till it cools off, pull it off, and you got your source of lighting at that point.
The ones that smelled like beef and dripped and spattered?
Uh-huh. Yes, because those were our lower class end candles. We never
Did
touched
you
them.
stay here until your untimely death?
No. I went back up to Mexico for that. Yes. But with the selling of the ranchos, I was seen as unemployed, and by then I was past my age, so I decided to go back up to Mexico at that point.
Did you have children here?
Yes, I did.
You raised
I had
your family
two
here?
children, yes, but we lived in the vicinity, so we did not live in the rancho at that point. Of course, Don Temple is actually considered the wealthiest man in California, and he was actually the first person to bring a four-wheeled carriage to Los Angeles. And so we're talking about carriages. Do you guys want to take a guess at what this could be? It's very modern of my times.
Is it like a jack?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, did you see it?
Just like a car jack today, you come jack up your car. Just like a carriage, this is actually called a carriage hitch. You used to come, hitch your carriage right here, fix any broken wheels or anything that it may need, and ready to go. This is actually very interesting that we have here. Do you want to guess out what it could be?
It's a stamp for the leather.
No, it actually had a more womanly role at this point, so you picked a good
That's
piece.
a cupboard
I
door for
did,
a
I
pie,
did.
a pie safe.
Yes,
Really?
exactly. You knew that. But here we have the dining room. Of course, Don Temple, the head of the table, used to sit right here. And his wife, Senora Rafaela, used to sit right there. And they had one daughter named Francesca. She was about 12 to 13 when we actually first built the rancho. And she would just flip-flop from chair to chair. The chair has actually been here since 1866 when the Bixby's moved in. And it's been in the same room since then. Because the Bixby's were very nice enough to donate it back once they knew that the rancho was a museum. But of course they reupholstered it, so it was very nice of them. So it's the one original piece to it.
Did you ever learn to read?
No, I did not. Especially as a woman also, of course.
And did your children?
My children, no, they did not.
They didn't know.
Saying because we were a younger, more crowd, and the education at that point was more for the prestigious. So the Bixby's did have an education. But another thing is the violin. I used to play the violin growing up because my father was in a mariachi band. But once I married, I was actually not allowed to play violin after that. So us women did not have much freedom at all to read or even play an instrument at that time.
Take off your long skirt.
I know, right? Of course, it would actually teach you how to properly act in the Victorian society. And of course, it would teach you how to read and write and such like that. It's got toys for Christmas. And so it looks like the Bixby's are doing pretty good at this point. So, that was it.
I'm used to them being in the commode. Oh my goodness, look at that.